Well, are we about to move on? Because there's breaking
Yeah.
news.
Well,
Ooh.
what's the breaking news?
Back to basketball. Apparently, just a little thing. Nick loves talking his ball, so let's just throw it back here. Apparently, broken just now. One of our buddies in our boys chat put this in that Russell Westbrook requests a trade from the Houston Rockets. He wants out. It's not that they're considering it; it's that he wants out.
Wow.
Looks like it was broken by Legion Hoops. Don't know about the credibility there, but
Yeah,
our
I'm
guys
seeing other
tends to
people
do it.
tweet about it.
How
All
bad?
right, sounds
How
legit.
how bad was it there in Houston with him being paired with James Harden that he wants to leave? It's only been a year, right?
Yeah,
Am I missing something?
so he actually played, when the NBA season stopped for COVID and they took the month's break, Russell Westbrook was playing the best basketball he had played since he won MVP in 2016 and was just absolutely incredible.
Mm-hmm.
There was always a questionable fit stylistically with him and James Harden, even though they're great friends. And that one of the reasons I was all for it is because I was like, these two guys are great friends off the basketball court. I would love to see, them succeed together, but it's in a similar way that the Spurs have seen DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge are just not a good fit on the basketball court, even though they're both phenomenal basketball players. And I don't know about the behind the scenes stuff. I don't know how he was treated by Daryl Morey, even though he's gone, and same with Mike D'Antoni, he's gone. I don't know if kind of the new general manager and head coach want him out of there. And so I'm not really sure. This was all must be behind the scenes stuff, but obviously they came up well short. It's not like they pushed the Lakers to 7 games. They lost in 5, and they could barely overcome the Thunder, in 7 games the round before, which is a big underwhelming performance by them. But that's wild. I don't know what team takes him on, though. I know the Clippers have been rumored, but that's they would have to give up Paul George probably to make that fit money wise.
They already want to, don't they? Oh no, I'm thinking of a different player. Never mind.
Well, they've been, or there's been reports that they are potentially interested in him. Another team is the Knicks, are always looking for any star they can get. What are you thinking?
I'm saying us, South Beach
The
would be a
Heat.
team that could take him on. But
they could take him on.
I don't want to give up
Pelicans?
any piece that they'd ask. I'm not giving you Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. No way. These guys are young. They're good. I don't need you for that. And we got Giannis coming a year, maybe a year later. I'd rather wait and just see what happens.
It's true. I mean, if you guys had Russell Westbrook and you were able to keep Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson, that would fit really well because they're such great shooters around him. But, I mean, Russell Westbrook's really hit or miss. Sometimes he's in the zone and he's a borderline top 10 guy. I mean, obviously, there was a time where he easily was. And sometimes he makes really bad decisions, and it's really highlighted in the playoffs. Yeah, I don't know. This is kind of wild. I don't know what team wants him on his contract.
Having a coach like Eric Spoelstra, one of the actual elite coaches I think are left in the league, is I think there's not many in NBA. I think there's really only 3 or 4. Would be something big for him because I don't think he's really necessarily had that elite coach. I mean, we saw what an Eric Spoelstra can do to a Jimmy Butler. We know what a Greg Popovich and a Steve Kerr can do, or Brad Stevens. But, the rest of the coaches are just kind of out there. Some of them are all right, and they got a chance to get up there, but,
I'm trying to think of contenders that he could go to. Like, what's a team that think they can put him over the top? The Clippers have been linked. I don't think that's going to happen. Obviously, Bucks are another team that need another star, but they'd give up Chris Middleton and Eric Bledsoe or something like that. I don't think the Rockets would do that, and that wouldn't really be a good fit. Probably be okay.
Could Grizzlies or Mavs be in contention?
Probably not, just because Ja Morant and Luka Doncic are both point guards, right. So that would be a conflict of interest.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I'm just curious at what team needs Russell Westbrook.
Now, if Miami gives Goran Dragic, who I love the Dragon,
maybe an improvement,
that max contract, and sends one of our other guys, That I'd be more down with if it's one of the smaller guys or a draft pick, because then we've got a pretty good team. And it would just trade max contracts, so we would still have the one opening up next summer.
Well, the issue, though, is that Russ's contract is far worse than Goran's. I think it's worth
Max
quite a bit
still
more.
Has a max. He still has a max. Goran
yeah,
does.
Well, I think he has a super max is what. Well, maybe he doesn't have a super max, but Russ's contract's pretty rough, and it gets worse every year because he's still got on there for like 3 or 4 years.
Sure.
The issue with the Heat getting him is that if you guys don't win a championship in the next year or two, it probably will really hamper you unless you can deal him, which apparently is an easy thing to do now if it happens 2 years in a row. Another team that comes to mind before we move on to the NFL would be the Phoenix Suns, who have been rumored to be interested in Chris Paul. Just like a team that wants to make it to the playoffs that hasn't been there in a long time. They need a point guard. That could be a place for him. That's really interesting.
Is Booker about to be a free agent there? I thought I was hearing a rumor that he might want out of there too.
He might want out. I'm not sure exactly what his contract is. It's probably, it's obviously not this summer. Could be next summer or the year after that. Contract. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure, but if they don't make the playoffs soon, he's going to want out because he's never made it.
Yeah, and I think he's a pretty good player to not want to. Yeah, he's. I don't know what like the prime years are for basketball players necessarily, but he's probably in there. So
he's just entering his prime. I think prime's typically like 27 to early 30s. 33 is kind of the main prime that you see for an NBA player. I think.
Yeah,
and
makes sense.
Definitely a little different. Like Dwight Howard's is way earlier than that, but he had a big back injury. Yeah, it's really interesting. That could be a team actually that would be interested in him and might have the firepower to trade for him just because they need to make the playoffs and they need to put everything on the table to get Devin Booker to the playoffs if they want to keep him, or else they're going to have to rebuild in a couple of years and be in a really bad spot. So,
yeah.
But also,
does
Chris
Portland make a move? I know they got Dame at point guard, but like, do you consider it and just put them both on the court?
Well, but CJ's a 2 guard, so that would be moving CJ to a 3. That would be a really bad fit, I think.
Be very small.
Because they need forward help and center help. It's just there's a lot of decent point guards in the NBA. The Lakers obviously are a team that could use a point guard, but I don't think they can afford him. But that would be wild.
We're still trying to remove Luol Dane's contract, I believe. I think we're still dealing with that.
But the Lakers have been rumored to be in connections with players like DeMar DeRozan and Chris Paul, as far-fetched as it may be. But really interesting.